What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Mattel Masters of the Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles of Grayskull Wave 4 figures. So in this wave, we have Stealth Ninja, He-Man, and Leonardo. So both of them look decent in their stealth armor, so we're supposed to be able to sneak around and hide without being noticed. So I'll have to take a look at those, and I'll go through some of their story. Then we get April O'Neil dressed as the Sorceress. So now she has the Sorceress sort of powers, a camera, hammer sort of weapon there, which looks awesome. And then finally we have Hordak, who's going to have some ooze, mutagen stuff going on with him, but here in the box just looks like normal Hordak, but still cool overall. So pretty cool figures, continuing to build out more of the Turtles of Grayskull, so I'm excited to check these out. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. Well, let's start off with Stealth Ninja He-Man. Now, if you remember, last time we saw He-Man from the Turtles of Grayskull, he was mutated, but in this form, he gets the Sword of Power back, so the power of Grayskull expels the mutagen, turning him back normal, so he joins the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to save Eternia from Skeletor and Krang, and then they wear stealth armor like this, him and Leonardo do, specifically to sneak in the Snake Mountain to do a counterattack. So he looks pretty decent here. Of course, it looks like He-Man, we do have some issues, like especially around the mouth, there's like some sort of like paint, or it could be glue or something around his mouth, so that doesn't look the best, but it is cool. We have He-Man like we normally have, so it looks just like the normal MOTU Origins figure, just with the stealth armor, so he has like this hood or this shroud that they wear, so it looks pretty decent with this like light or green color. It was like a minty green sort of hood that goes down into a cape hanging off his back as well, and then he has some of the turtle armor like the other characters wear, so we get a big shoulder armor there up on his left arm, looks pretty nice, and the forearm on the right, and then the knee pad on the right as well. So again, that turtle shell design, and then even as the loincloth piece with the turtle shell on it, so looks pretty decent. So it's just covering up He-Man. I love how he still has the ripped shoe, which the mutated version have, and of course I'll show you that as well, but just looks pretty decent overall. And of course we can take this shroud off, at least the hood piece off, easily, so we can see He-Man's face there. And like I said, looks just like He-Man. Of course it looks like he's messed up. His right eye's a little messed up, and like I said, has some stuff on his mouth. Like I said, it almost looks like a glue or something got on there, and it's kind of covered up his mouth. So not the best look overall for He-Man, but usually He-Man doesn't look the best, so it kind of keeps in line with that. But we'll do his movement, so his head will twist all the way around. Can look down that far and up that far, of course, so decent movements back and forth. With the shoulders up to 90, and we'll rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint there that bends about to 90 with rotation, and then we get the wrist that'll twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the twist around at the waist, so it'll twist all the way around. The hips will come up that far at least, and then out to the side a little, so just a little back and forth. It feels a little stiff as well. Then we get the single knee joint back that bends back there with some rotation in it, and then of course hidden with this one behind the shin guard, but we get the boot that'll twist all the way around there at the shin, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So the standard movements for these figures, and especially the MOTU Origins, since like I said, this is pretty much just a MOTU Origins figure with some extra armor thrown on. But as I said, the big thing with this is that he has the shroud on to hide his identity. But like I said, I like the cloak that's hanging off. Of course, it's a soft rubbery material. We still have the slot in his harness there to store the sword, so this just sits over the top of that. But I love all like the texture and like little rips and stuff, like he's been in battle. But then we get that hooded shroud as well that can go on. So like I said, kind of keeps his identity hidden and allows him to sneak around Eternia there, so that is pretty decent. Now we do get some accessories that go along with that. We do get this breathing thing, so I guess to be able to sneak around in places. I'm guessing, I don't know why he has it otherwise, but we can put this around him. So there he's got that breather on, and you can easily slide that down over his head. Most of the time when we get mass things like these, we have to like pop the head off and slide it up from the bottom, but this easily slid right down, and then we can put the hood back on top of that. So that all fits together there, hiding even more of his identity, so that looks pretty cool. And then of course we also get the Sword of Power, so of course the sword that helps bring him back to being He-Man. Unfortunately it got bent up in the packaging, like not looking too good there, like it could break pretty easily, so obviously we can put that in his hand, which will, but it does also have the slot in the hood there, so you can store it in the back. So since we have his harness piece covered up, we can store it in the hood at least, but let's go and put this in his hand. So there we've got He-Man with his Sword of Power, so looks pretty awesome in his stealth armor there. And as I mentioned, the last time we saw He-Man, he was mutated, so here's our mutated version of He-Man. So getting the Sword of Power, of course, turns him back to normal, so looks pretty decent overall. Obviously not the best looking He-Man figure. To me, he's always like one of the worst looking characters that they make, just because his face and everything looks so weird. But overall, it's a nice figure. Just having him in the Stealth Ninja outfit looks pretty cool, so it helps spice him up a little. And pretty similar, we have Stealth Ninja Leonardo. So Leonardo comes up with the idea to wear stealth armor and hide in the shadows to attack Skeletor and Krang by sneaking into Snake Mountain. So he's wearing the shroud as well as He-Man and looks pretty decent. So we saw Leonardo before in the earlier waves, looks pretty decent there. He just looks like Leonardo with more He-Man like armor, but this time we get him all stealthed up. So he has the hood around his head as well. Looks very Assassin's Creed-esque with the little point down there. Then I love the fur around his neck as well. Again, he has the whole shroud piece that we can take off. So you take it off and just have Leonardo there, which looks decent. Then I love how he's got like the bandolier sort of things, or little straps that go around his chest with the shoulder armor there up on his left arm. That looks pretty nice with the turtle shell design and the fur incorporated. Then we get a belt around his waist with some pockets. And then I love how it goes down to like this skirting that hangs down, especially in the front. So it's kind of like chaps almost with the way they're designed. But we get that nice textured design in there as well with some details going through it. Little like loincloth design in the front and some keys hanging off. Don't know what that is unless the, sneaking around Snake Mountain, they stole some keys or something, but yeah, he's got those on the front. And then just looks like the Leonardo, pretty similar to what we had before everywhere else with the armor, just like He-Man was wearing there on his forearms. So looks pretty decent. And then of course has the shell on the back, and just like the past ones, we can take it off and put this as a shield in his hand. So all around a pretty cool looking figure. Really like this design overall, especially with the shroud on and stuff. So putting him and He-Man together looked pretty cool. Now I wish they looked more identical, like they're wearing the exact same design, but the different colors is nice as well. Well, let's do his moves. So his head twists around. I thought with these bandana tails it wouldn't allow it to twist all the way around, but it seems like they do get out of the way, so you can get it twisted around there, and then look down that far and up that far. So the standard shoulders up to 90, and we'll rotate around. We get the single elbow joint to 90 with rotation. The wrist will twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Then we get the twist at the waist, so it'll twist all the way around there. Then we go to the hips. Now, of course, with the skirting, it'll be hard to really do the movements, but the hips can come up that far. At least I'm forcing it there, can only get up that far, and then out to the side as well. Again, not the easiest movements in those hips, but the knee will bend back with rotation, and then we get a shin twist at the top of the boot with the foot flexing back and forth and twist side to side. So again, yeah, the standard movement, so nothing surprising there, but overall Leonardo looks really nice. Really like this design, and like I said, especially with the shroud on, so we can put this back on, and that just makes him look even cooler. Love like the black and the fur and stuff. Just looks really nice overall, just filling out Leonardo. Now accessory wise, as you could probably expect for him, comes with his two katanas. So we get normal looking katanas this time. Of course, they look more like we got with like Ninja and stuff like that. I thought, yeah, there is a slot that we can store him in his shell in the back. Of course, that is also a shield, so you can just store both of those together down in there, but let's put him in his hand. And there Leonardo has the katana, so that looks really cool. So awesome looking overall for the Leonardo. And of course, as I mentioned, we could bring in our older Leonardo there. So there's what he looked like originally, with more of that more He-Man-esque armor on him in the single big sword, like power sword. Of course, we could split it apart into the two as well. But just looks pretty awesome there with our two different versions of Leonardo. And I really like this one. Of course, I feel you could probably take most of this off and just have more of the basic Leonardo. So you could just do that as well, so you don't have to have all of this stuff going on. Just looks really good for the Stealth Ninja Leonardo. And next up, we've got April O'Neil as the Sorceress. So April and Casey followed the Turtles to Shredder's base, where they were also transported to Eternia, but this time to Castle Grayskull. And there she was bestowed the powers to become the Sorceress of Grayskull. And there she uses her abilities to help He-Man find the Sword of Power to cure him from his mutation. So she looks pretty cool here, like it is just taking April and mixing in the Sorceress design into it, which looks awesome. So we still get the April O'Neil, so we get her face there, of course the cartoony face, but looks pretty decent with her red hair, sort of like swept to the side, that shorter haircut. But then love how she has the Sorceress like tiara in a head with the little bird design with the blue beak and the orange eyes and stuff. Looks pretty nice. And then we go to her outfit, of course, wearing the all yellow like April normally does with her yellow jumpsuit, but incorporating some of the Sorceress, so she has this fur like collar, or I should say feather colored, around her neck there, which is nice. And then she has the little stripe design going down the center into the skirt piece, which is similar. It has like, the feather design similar to what the Sorceress has. Then she has some gauntlets on her wrist, so nice there, and like the whitish cream color with a little bit of metallic blue in it. Really like that design, and similar to her boots, so she gets the boots that come up pretty high with the blue color and the white design. Looks pretty decent overall for this version of her. And then of course her accessories make her look even better. But movement-wise, we get that'll twist all the way around. A little bit difficult there with the feather piece, but it'll twist around, look down that far and up that far. So just to get a little back and forth as usual. Shoulders up that far. I'm trying to get it closer to 90, but it's seeming not to fight there. And we'll rotate around. We get the single elbow joint with rotation, and the wrist will twist all the way around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the twist at the waist, so it'll twist all the way around. Hips will come up that far, very close to 90, out to the side. Single knee joint back with rotation. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So again, the standard movements, especially for the female MOTU figures. And overall, she looks pretty awesome and works out pretty decently. Now, accessory-wise, what's cool is that we do get wings to put on her, so we get this big set of wings, so it'll pop into her back in the holder. And of course, we have the source assorted design with the orange, blue, and white feather design, so that looks really nice. So let's pop this on. So there we get that in her back, and of course we can adjust the wings, and looks pretty nice there. So there's what she looks like from the back with those big wings. Looks really awesome. Love the color design. Always love that in general. Just the orange and blue white color just looks awesome. And from the front, of course, it's all orange with white at the bottom, so could be a little more colorful there, throwing in some of that blue. And love the additional layer of feathers here where there's some blue, so you just get the different designs and layers of the wings, so looks pretty nice. And then what's fun is that she comes with a staff of camcorder, as it's called, which is pretty funny. So we get this big staff, almost looks like a big hammer, which she can use so she can hammer down with it. But it also has lenses in it that it acts like a camera, and you can sort of kind of see through it. Of course, doesn't look the best or anything, but you can see April through there, so it's completely see-through. So that is pretty fun and cool. We can put this into our hand. So there's the staff of camcorder in her hand. Of course, the only real spot you can put it is right there, or at the very bottom there is a small grip to that, because the rest of the staff is too big to fit in the hand, so you can only sort of hold them in those certain places. But looks really cool there, so awesome to have her. Of course, she does have the power sources, so here's our MOTU Origin Sorceress figure, where you can see some of the inspiration for the designs, especially with the outfit designs. And then the staff, instead of this staff with the bird on it, she has the big camcorder and everything. So again, just a lot of similarities coming from this figure. And then, of course, as I mentioned, she does come into the universe with Casey. So here's the Casey we got from the last wave. So now we have Casey and April there together to help fight alongside the turtles. So this April's really cool. Love the design. Love, of course, incorporating April with like her yellow jumpsuit, and of course the April face, along with Sorceress with all like the bird design and stuff. Just looks really awesome. So this is a really cool figure. And our final figure of the wave is our only villain of Hordak, which was Skeletor's former mentor, who forged a secret alliance with Shredder to ambush Skeletor and Krang, and they sprayed the heroes with mutagen. So he looks cool. Of course, looks mostly like Hordak here, so nothing too much different. Obviously, the armor is going to be a little different, all that. So there is some, just doesn't like stand out noticeably, but then he has the mutagen gun on his arm there, so it looks pretty cool with the ooze all in it, shooting out. Of course, we'll get an effect for that, but looks pretty cool. I love the all blue body. I always love the blue version of Hordak, so it looks pretty awesome with the blue and black thrown in. We get the, of course, the I always want to say skeleton face. It's not skeleton, but whatever sort of face this is, the bat face with the big ears, the pig-like nose, blue fin up on top of the head, the red eyes, and then you can see the teeth and everything in there. It looks awesome with the big color piece that comes around with, of course, all the bone designs. We get the Hordak logo there on his chest, nice little spiky armor there up on the shoulders, armband with the Hordak logo. Again, that all blue skin. Nice design here around his waist as well with the Hordak logo. Some silver gauntlets on the wrist, and of course this one over here has the ooze gun on it, so that connects up with his armband as well. Then blue continues down the leg to the Hordak feet, which are pretty normal, just all in silver this time with the little Hordak logos on them there. So it looks pretty good and decent. Of course, like I said, just always have the black, blue, and red design of Hordak, so this version here, so really like this figure. But for his movements, his head will twist around. Now, I'm not sure how it'll twist around too well with this armor and stuff, so it can get it to twist around there, and then look down that far, and then up that far. So not a whole lot of range back and forth, just a little bit of movement there. Then we'll go to the shoulders. I think we'll do the shoulder without the piece, so it'll come up to 90, rotate around within there. Single elbow joint to 90 as well with rotation. Wrist will twist around and flex back and forth. Then we go to the twist at the waist. We'll twist all the way around. The hips will come up towards 90 and out to the side. Single knee joint back with rotation and shin twist at the top of the boot. And then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So same movements once again, and overall looks pretty decent. It works and functions just fine. I do have some issues getting him to stand. Not sure it has to do with the feet or just the way the body's designed or something. Something seems a little bit off. I do have more issues getting Hordak to stand, but hopefully it won't be too bad with the accessories. And speaking of, we do get some extra accessories of some bat wings, which look pretty cool. So I assume he's sort of somewhat mutated, but we get these red bat wings that we can pop onto his back. So nice like mechanical looking design as well, with the red and black design looks cool. So I love like the bone structure is in black with the wing pieces red in between. So this looks really cool. We can attach this into his back. So there he's got the wings on his back, which look really cool. Love the additional color of red and black there behind. I love like, little spikes at the top and the wings coming out. Just looks really cool and looks more intimidating. And finally, as I mentioned, for the ooze cannon, we do get some ooze that's shooting out. So with his mechanical arm here, we can plug this in. So there we now have some ooze shooting out, so we can spraying down all the heroes to try and mutate them. So that is pretty cool. Adding that additional pop of green color onto Hordak just makes it stand out quite a bit and looks awesome overall. So pretty decent looking Hordak. Now, of course, we've had Hordak in the past, so this was the closest one I could find. So it's more of the black and darker colored version. But there's just our MOTU Origins version of Hordak. And then, of course, in the series, as I mentioned with the stuff, he has different apprentices. So, of course, it was originally Skeletor. So here we have Skeletor from the Turtles of Grayskull. And then as it turned against him, we now have Shredder as well. So there's Shredder following Hordak as well. So it looks pretty cool with Hordak and his two minions there next to him. So that is awesome. And like I said, overall, this Hordak is cool. It's probably one of my favorite Hordak figures we've got. I wish we could just switch out some of the arm. Like, I don't know if this arm cannon piece can pull off and it's just a normal arm. We could just pop, a hand on or something. But overall, just the basic Hordak looks awesome. Love that design, and especially adding those wings onto him. Well, that's going to be it for Wave 4 of our Turtles of Grayskull, with pretty good figures where we get our Stealth Ninja He-Man and Leonardo. Both look cool. Like Leonardo a lot more just because I'm not too crazy about the colors of He-Man, and of course that base He-Man body, just, especially that face doesn't look too good. But really enjoy the April and Hordak as well. Both of those are really good. Really love the April. The Hordak, like I said, is my favorite version of Hordak just because I love the wings and everything about him. Just looks awesome there. So really good figures to add to our collection to build out more of the Turtles of Grayskull. So really good figures added to the collection. Well, let me know what you thought of these 4 down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with that like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.